right. So because this assignment is so imperative for your grade, it's very important. I wanted to spend a very, very short video going over some highlights of what this is going to be and look like to try to clear up any confusion. What I'm not going to do in this video is actually take you slide by slide through this. I'm going to leave that up to you. I will be hitting some highlights of this particular slides though, because I think it's important. So the first thing to say is that yes, you're writing a paper for me. No, it's not all due in 1 week. In fact, it's going to be split up over the course of about 6 weeks. So about half of the total duration of this class, that's going to be going on in the background. So just like your vocabulary diary where you have to do a little bit each week, this assignment will be broken up into parts each week. And in fact, you've already done the first part last week, which was the discussion post, which was a preview to the prompts because you have a choice between two prompts. Now, normally, maybe back in high school, when you were asked to do some sort of formal paper, it was probably a research-based paper. But this one is not going to be a research-based paper. As you see, it says narrative essay assignment. And so a narrative is some sort of story. You're going to be using your own personal experiences to serve as the evidence of your paper. That being said, these directions are here for you, so I really, really hope that you at least poke through. Something I do want to point out and stop and talk about is that yes, you can use first person in a narrative essay. So first person is that I or we. Normally in formal writing, you're really not supposed to use these. It weakens how your overall point is going to come across. But because this one is going to be using your personal life as evidence for your beliefs, the I has a place in the evidence portion. I'll give a little bit more guidance on that when we get into the revision areas, and I'll be giving you feedback each week, which we'll get to here in just a couple minutes. But it's just worth noting that for some of you who maybe heard, oh, you can never use I in an essay, that's incorrect for this form of essay. Now, what you should avoid is this second person. Don't use you or y'all or anything like that. It's just not formal, and you don't do it in formal papers. So your evidence is going to come from you, and if you have never seen this word before, maybe you've heard it but didn't really know what it meant, an anecdote is a personal experience of some kind. And so that's what you're going to be using when you write your paper. And I've included some helpful links. Anything from Purdue OWL has to do with MLA in particular. These are all really good supplemental resources. Okay, so supplemental things are always extras that I think are useful, especially since in some ways the textbook doesn't do as good of a job being MLA centric as Purdue OWL would be. This assignment is going to be over the course of about 6 weeks. Really slightly longer than that, but only because I didn't put the final draft on here, and I did put the discussion post. So you've already done one of the weeks, so you have about 6 more to focus on in this course. And it's always going to be kind of going on in the background. So you will have other assignments due each week, but you're going to have a piece of this paper also due. And this week, you're going to be doing kind of some heavy lifting. And why I say it's heavy lifting is that you're going to be choosing which prompt you're going to be using. You have 2 different prompts that you can choose from. And you're going to be creating your outline. So if you do a good job this week, you're really doing all of the thinking part up front. And then next week, it's going to seem like a lot because I'm asking you to write 3 paragraphs, but it's really not as bad if you've already done the work. We'll talk about why the order is what it is as we get to those weeks. just know that this particular week, it's going to seem like a lot of thinking, and I really, really advise you to take your time on this week and get your thoughts down, because it will make the rest of this paper a breeze for you. But if you kind of fumble through this week, it's going to be a pain. Every week you're going to have to redo stuff, and it's just not going to come out right. For each week, I'm going to be giving you feedback as well. So I've been doing that already with your discussion posts, for example. And if you are not going into your grades and viewing that feedback, you really need to start doing so, especially for this assignment. Because, for example, if you do something that I think is a big no-no and we catch it in these like rough draft pieces, it gives you an opportunity to fix it. But if you don't fix it and you just resubmit the same thing, then I will penalize you for that. And while I'm talking about penalties for things, I have not had this issue in this course yet, but this is just a warning. Please don't use AI or plagiarize. I will come after you. Okay. So no one's done that so far. All of your posts have been from you and authentic, and I appreciate that. Just please always read the instructions for these assignments. This is going to be a big part of your grade, and I will not accept the final piece of your grade if you miss one of these that lead up to it. You'll still have to submit it even if you don't get credit for the rough draft part of it because maybe it was late or something. But you're showing me that you're adhering to the process, and then I will allow you to do the final one. Okay, so if you happen to miss one of the weeks, you need to reach out to me and say, how can I fix this so that you don't ruin your grade in the process? Like I said before, you're going to have 2 different prompts. So this week you have 2 readings, 2 essays. I've linked PDFs for them. You're going to go ahead and read both of them to really understand the prompt for them, but you're only selecting one to actually write your paper over. Okay, so if you try to do both or to flip back and forth, that's not going to be acceptable for this assignment. Don't try to make too much work for yourself. You're only picking one of these 2. So you're going to read both the work you do, the person you are, and taking my parents to college, and then you're going to decide on one of those to then write your overall essay about. That being said, I really want you to focus on organizing your thoughts this week. And if you have any questions about any of this, you really need to be using that message board so that others can see whatever it is that you had a question about, because they probably also have that question. The rest of the slides are just previewing what we'll be doing each week. As we get to those weeks, I'll be giving you more specific instructions for each part. So just look forward to that and keep on working hard. Thank you.